Hey everyone, this is Fi. I'm checking out Moonlight Banggora. This is a game that is part of the HDG Demo Day 25. Apparently was also made for a game jam. I guess they just kind of chucked it in the demo day, which is fine by me, but we're gonna give this a playtest. Just read the game page here real quick. It says, battle waves of enemies with a shotgun that gets stronger as you defeat more of them. This prototype was developed in 1 week for the Blackthorn Prod Game Jam number 2. Never heard of that, but that's okay. With programming and audio done by Definitely Not a Shark. Music was provided by Freesound. Chrome users of the WebGL version must have hardware acceleration. Okay, that doesn't matter. Joystick controllers are supported. WASD / left analog stick to move. Use spacebar. R1 or right bumper to shoot. Use escape / start to pause. So it seems like pretty simple controls. I think I'm probably actually going to try the gamepad. I have my Xbox controller here, which from the sounds of it will probably work a little better. Now I do have the game open. Let's go ahead and... oh, I forgot about my overlay this time. Oh, no big deal. I'm not going to redo it. But let's go ahead and jump in the game here. So I've not seen anything past the screen. I noticed that this quit option seems to be kind of going off the screen here. I almost wonder if it's like not set to the right resolution or something. It doesn't appear to be an options menu or anything. So again, this is a jam game, so you can only expect so much, but go ahead and click on that credits. I guess we're just gonna go ahead. Oh, we got some... Alright, how to play. This kind of looked like interface elements that I could click on or something at first, but move is left joystick or WSD. Shoot is either right R1 or right bumper or space. So I'm assuming R1 is the right trigger. Sounds like the phone is ringing. Probably the answer machine's gonna go off here. Clear waves of enemies from the planet and survive as long as possible. Let's go ahead and click on play then. Alright. Wow. Very fast movement. Oh. Oh, okay. So, yeah, it is the instant machine. Just gonna mess around a bit at first. But one thing I noticed immediately is that the joystick seems to move you faster than the WSD, and it's not that you actually move faster, but it's that with WSD there's like inertia. So like if I just tap it a few times, I go kind of slow. The stick, there's not really inertia, but it does have analog, so it's kind of like... it's not quite doing the same things here. It's definitely a different behavior. Having inertia versus, you know, being able to choose if you want to move slow or fast. It's not quite the same thing, so it would seem that, you know, there might be an inherent benefit in choosing one over the other, like being able to move at instant speed with the joystick seems like it would be probably advantageous in this scenario, so that's something I would consider changing. Now it's the right... okay, right bumper, so the right trigger doesn't work. I don't know what... oh, stick is pause. You can press the thumbsticks into pause, so that's kind of interesting. Oh, R1. They're talking about the Sony controllers. That's why they call it R1. It didn't even occur to me. It's been so long since I've played any PlayStation games. So yeah, okay. So we got a new wave coming, but like I already took a bunch of damage. We're gonna keep messing around here. I do notice that there doesn't appear to be a way to rotate the camera, which I think would probably be pretty necessary because this is spherical. Because I feel like I need to just go forwards all the time. Like I can't really go backwards because of the camera angle, like towards enemies, because I can't see them. So the way to mitigate that would just be to keep moving in a forward direction. It's kind of awkward. I mean, you can eventually get around the other side again, but it's just like a lot of time to do so. So yeah, I would definitely consider, you know, maybe just using the right thumbstick even to manually control the camera if you don't want to make it. Don't want to mess with making a good camera behavior or something. Just being able to rotate it would probably be fine. Let's see. spacebar. Other thing is that using WASD, I don't really want to shoot with the same hand as my movement, so I'd rather just use the mouse, even like another button. I can put like my right hand on the spacebar, I guess that would work. It just kind of feels kind of silly. I'd rather use something closer to the right of the keyboard, like right control or something, but it'd probably just be comfy to just like click with the mouse even if I'm not aiming with it. Yeah, it definitely feels easier with the gamepad by a lot. I don't personally like using the right bumper for this kind of thing. I like my fingers rest on the triggers, so I prefer to use the triggers if I can for shooting. This kind of game, you can even use like the face buttons. Probably feel good, but yeah. So another thing I'm curious about is the collision. It seemed like it was a little, yeah. It's like they don't really appear to touch you. It's kind of like there's definitely some space there when you get hit. It's like they don't even visually touch you, so that's generally a pretty bad thing. I pressed the spacebar, it made a little pew sound, so there's probably a little bug there. So yeah, I would suggest making the hitboxes a lot smaller here, so understanding that, you know, when it doesn't look like you're getting hit and you are getting hit, that's a pretty bad feeling in games. So I definitely prefer to make them collision hurt boxes, whatever you want to call it, like on enemies and stuff that'll hurt you, like pretty generously small. Like it definitely has to be smaller than the thing itself, you know. And I know this is kind of like a 3D thing, so it's kind of depends on like the perspectives and stuff. These blades don't really look like they're going to touch you, in my opinion, because they're kind of up so high. So it kind of looks more like you're going to hit the bottom part of this or something, but there's definitely some distance in between here, so I would make these nice and small. It's nice to have this kind of forgiving, because just getting like barely brushed by something and it like killing you is kind of counterintuitive and sort of like, if you imagine the physical world, if there's something dangerous and you get hit in the face with it, then it, you know, that's bad. But if it just kind of brushes your skin, it's probably not really going to hurt you. So it's kind of a way you can think about it. Just a good idea in general, just to have these hurt boxes kind of nice and small, and that's kind of can make a huge difference in a game like this, especially for a shooting game. So this time I'm gonna actually try to like play the game. Interesting that your shots. Okay, so they only shoot so far before they hit the ground, but they also don't inherit your inertia. So like when you're moving forward, it looks like they don't go very far, but it's just because of the inertia, because you're kind of catching up to it. I would probably prefer if it did inherit your inertia, because of how fast you can move. It kind of feels, I don't know, I think that would just feel a little better. But I can understand why they don't just keep going around and around the planet infinitely. See, I'm a little disappointed that I can't really shoot backwards without doing anything dangerous. So I have to try and keep everything in front of me. Also, it would probably be nice if there's like little arrows that kind of pointed. Oh, jeez. Yeah, see, that was... Especially when you combine like the amount of view space I have, because of like the camera zoom along with my move speed, because you move like really fast, so like it's really easy to just like accidentally just run into something that wasn't even on the screen a minute ago. That's kind of exasperated by the collision being rather unforgiving. Now I am getting a stronger weapon. I notice it's got a lot of randomness in the bullet spread, which I don't think is a good idea. It just adds an RNG element, and I understand the idea of like shotgun spreads being rather RNG, but you really have to kind of manage that if you're going to do that kind of thing. In this case, I don't think it's a good idea. Because yeah, it's just adding a random element that isn't actually doing anything for the game, I don't think, except making it less predictable. Unfortunately, I touched that guy. And the fact that I move so quickly, I have to be really careful because I have to manage like being able to actually see the thing on the screen, and I have to like move in that direction in order to aim, so it's like really touchy. So yeah, I kind of like being able to move fast though. I mean, it's fun to be able to move fast. I would actually tweak the analog a bit, probably, maybe to give you a little more control over it. I don't know if that... It might be fine. It's probably... Ooh, you can get hurt more than once really fast, I guess. It's probably fine. It's just the fact that you're pretty fast. It just kind of... I don't know. For sure, it would probably be nicer to be able to see more on screen with the camera. It looks like... I don't... Oh, geez. That's not nice if they spawn right on top of you like that. I don't know if these health things... I feel like I might have just picked one up. Oh, jeez. Even though I was at full health? Which wouldn't be a good thing, probably. So yeah, it feels super touchy. The reasons I already kind of explained. You could knock down the move speed a little bit if you wanted to, but I think it's just be nice to be able to see more. Oh gosh. Although the size of the planet kind of exasperates that a little more too. Try and move slow. Which I'll probably do a lot better if I don't move at full speed. I can see a little... Right here you can see... Oh, geez. The text is like not quite faded out all the way. It's kind of silly. Right, we're gonna... This goes straight forward until we see something. There we go. Gun upgraded. Alright. Oh, jeez. I hate them when they come behind me because I can't... Like, it's a worst case scenario. I just have very little time to react. Alright, 2 out of 10 remaining. So yeah, it'd be cool if you could kind of see where they were in the direction or something. I don't believe the enemies are going to get like any harder. It seems like there's only one kind, and I don't... Maybe they're moving faster or something? Possible. Oh, jeez, yeah. So the camera mostly is the hardest part. Trying to shoot in a direction that I'm not moving in. Oh shoot, yeah, see, I feel like I could have avoided a lot of damage with some tweaked hurt boxes here. Alright, it's kind of fun because you do get to move really fast, and it's kind of fun to just do really fast inputs and stuff. That kind of feels cool to do this, so I like that. The other guys here somewhere. Now, if they are getting faster, which was kind of my hunch, then it might end up in these situations where, oh, geez, they just spawn all around you. That it might be harder to chase them down by just like going forward. Because maybe they're gonna start like keeping up with you, and then you might just be running forever or something. I don't even know for sure if they actually move faster, but yeah, I just kind of wish I knew where they were so I could avoid just kind of wandering aimlessly until I see something. But thankfully, our little planetoid here is relatively small. Oh, I tried to shoot again, but I didn't have... The gun was on cooldown. Tried to go too fast. It's pretty hard to do these tiny, fast, accurate inputs to shoot in these directions, though. It would, excuse me, it would obviously be easier if this was like a twin stick setup. That would make it like far easier, but it is kind of fun to do these kind of inputs, I think. And I actually think it'd be a lot of fun to just kind of weave in between stuff. Like I've done that a little bit here and there, but you know, like I already said, the hitboxes are pretty unforgiving, so it's like it's not really a comfortable thing to do that in this game because you could get hurt real easy. But yeah, it would be fun to, with these kind of controls and everything, just to like weave in between the enemies and everything. That could be a lot of fun. Be something that I think would be worth exploring if you were to keep working on this game. I think it would be cool to kind of focus on that sort of more defensive element where you could just, you know, if you think of it like a traditional shmup, that's a big part of those games. It's just like, it's not just shooting everything, it's like weaving in between all the bullets and all the things that'll kill you, and that's kind of what makes those games fun. So I think that would be something that could work here too. I'm worried about going backwards. I'm gonna run into someone. Gotta keep moving forwards here. Occasionally try and shoot a little too early and then I don't get a bullet that comes out, and that's pretty dangerous. Okay. Oh, that was annoying. Oh jeez, I'm a hack man. So there's a lot of spread on the weapon now because of getting more powerful. It's kind of interesting because it always kills in one shot, but it just kind of gets more and more spread, I guess. It's kind of weird. Like I wonder how that would really scale. Like, is it gonna eventually stop growing, or does it just get wider and wider until I'm like shooting like a semicircle or something? Oh my gosh. Like I feel like I can run to safety and then start shooting, but at some point I think there's just going to be so many enemies that that I have to just start shooting as fast as I can or something. Oh gosh. There we go. I don't know if the health power-ups just always give you full health, or if it's like only a certain amount. Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's rough when you have enemies just spawn in and you just instantly get hurt. It's not very fun. Oh, jeez. Oh, I got lucky that didn't hurt me. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, no, 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 no. Alright. No, and I just gotta spam shots all the time because there's just no safe way out of that situation. Okay, go forward. Okay, so it would also be nice if there's some kind of measure of progression. It tells you in the text, I noticed, but it would be nice if there's something on screen that you could just glance at and it says like where you're at in terms of the level or something. Oh shoot. It's a little hard to play and talk. It's getting so intense. Another thing is that it would be nice if it warned you like immediately before the enemy showed up, instead of it kind of like... It seems like the enemies spawn and then the text fades in like immediately afterwards, instead of it being like, get ready, and then, you know, it doesn't really prepare you in a sort of visually clear way or anything. So I have to kind of like watch the number in the bottom right and then just kind of know that they're about to pop in. Definitely be comfier if the game just was like, prepare yourself. Maybe even have like a little countdown or something. Or like even like a visual countdown, like a little progress bar or something. Oh gosh, jeez, I don't like it when you just take 1,000,000 damage at the start. Holy crap. Well, thankfully you don't just die in 1 or 2 hits, so that's working out pretty well for me. Now, is my gun still getting more powerful here? Oh, jeez, yeah, it's kind of lame just shooting blind like this. Alright, there's one left, and then we just gotta... Okay. Just be ready for hell to unleash. I don't know if I needed that. I wonder if the health things are going to become more and more scarce. Looks like we're at level 24. Shoot. So yeah, I've been playing for quite a while. I'm not really close to failing. Ah! I don't know if I should pick up a... Seems like it'd be better to save the health until you like are actually about to die. I'm hoping that it doesn't disappear over time. Oh jeez. See, I wasn't even expecting that. And this happened like a number of times already. I just wasn't aware of how many enemies were left or anything, so I just kind of went along playing, and then all of a sudden just a bunch of them just spawned. Catches you completely off guard. That did not look like it hit me at all. Oh no, 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 no. That sucks. Yeah, it's just unfortunate in that case. It's just like, I'm trying to avoid enemies, but I'm just running into the ones that are like waiting for me off the screen because I couldn't see them. It's kind of too bad. Ah! It's just all the off-screen. Like that one, oh gosh. I shouldn't be going backwards anyways. Gotta keep that in mind. Wow. Oh no. Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate the fact that you, like, the only safe direction to kind of run away in is forwards, but that ends up putting the enemies behind you, so you end up just like shooting blindly at them a lot, like this. It's just kind of the nature of the game. Ah, no. See, I don't think they actually do move any faster. Whoa. See, it feels good when you can find like a safe route through them. So like I said before, it's kind of fun to like weave in around things and stuff, but it's kind of unfortunate when you're trying to do that and you just start running into more and more enemies. No! There's no safety. Oh my gosh. And eventually, I mean, this little sphere is just going to become completely saturated, so... looks like it only refills about half your health. Ah? No! That was a lucky spawn. Oh shoot, until that part. Oh, okay, so I think... I never really had time to notice this before, but I think you have invincibility for like a second after you get hit. But it keeps making the sound of you getting hurt, so it's kind of like not really giving you accurate feedback. Yeah, because a lot of times it's like that audio feedback that you're kind of relying on. It's telling you you're getting hit. So it's a little bit confusing in that sense. Yeah, you really have to like look at directly at your health bar to notice that you're not actually taking damage at those parts. But, you know, it's good that it's not... that it has that invincibility, because it would be super unforgiving if you just pinball off all those guys and died instantly. That would not be fun. Ah, no. Oh gosh, there's just nowhere safe. Oh my gosh. That's too bad. Whoa. Oh gosh, no. I'm gonna super die in a few waves here. It's unfortunate, it starts to feel like at a certain point, it's not even a matter of like the skill to survive as much, or it doesn't feel like it as much, because there's just so many enemies that it kind of just becomes almost impossible to avoid damage. Okay, there's still 2 enemies, so they're not spawning yet. Okay. Alright. Shoot. Try a new strategy, but it didn't work out. I was just gonna try and like shoot straight forward and try and like clear as many enemies directly in front of me as I could, and then try to retreat in that direction, but I can only shoot so fast, so how many enemies you can actually clear in time is uncertain. There's 3 left. There. Alright, we're alive. Good. Oh shoot! Oh, that wasn't good. Oh my gosh. No. Yeah, it's just... seems like the vast majority of the damage I'm taking is from enemies that aren't on screen. So let's go this way. I didn't mean to pick that up. That's okay. Alright. Oh no. And yeah, just to some extent I'm at the mercy of how the spawns pan out, which just seems to be random. Fortunately, I'm making my hand a little uncomfortable because I have to kind of reach for that right bumper. It's kind of stretching stuff out over time that I'm not used to. So yeah, I do wish it was on the trigger here. The bumper's probably a little more snappy, and this is a pretty sort of snappy game, but just a little uncomfortable for me personally to hold up after a while. Another thing is I could just use a face button. That would probably be real easy to play with that rather than using the bumper here. No. Holy crap. No, the hitboxes are too big. It starts just taking longer to get through the waves because there's so many enemies. That was a lucky spawn, but they're gonna surround me. No. That's the problem with playing on the sphere, is that if you get into a safe spot, then they're basically surrounding you at that point. You're not really safe. You can't run in one direction and be safe. Oh gosh. Here we go. What page is this? 39. Oh gosh, this isn't going well at all. That was dumb. Oh, see, I was not expecting. Oh gosh darn it, I can't get a handle on it. Oh shoot. Please don't come behind me. Oh my gosh. So I do notice the dead zone on the stick is actually extremely small. There is a dead zone. It's not zero, but it'd probably be a good idea to bump that up just a little bit, because you can get in these sort of little touchy situations sometimes right around the center of the stick. You can get false inputs that can really affect, because the game is so dependent on oh, I shouldn't have picked that up, on aiming accurately with the stick, the direction that the stick is in. When it gets like super tight around the the center part of the stick, you can really run into some accuracy issues. So it's nice to have a low dead zone because it makes it real snappy, like really responsive. But you have to balance that out with the potential inaccuracy of it. So I'd probably just bump that up slightly, like if it's at like 0.1 or something, set it to 0.2, something like that. For most games, I think like 0.3 or 0.4 is good. I don't know, I just picked that up for no reason, I guess. So that guy, he's dead. What wave are we on? Definitely not dying. I mean, it's obviously getting harder because there's just so many enemies. Such that, like, getting hurt is inevitable, and you can only shoot so fast, so it's not like the gun shoots any faster. In theory, you could kill more than one guy with one shot, which sometimes happens, but... eventually, you know, there's just like so many enemies. I think it's just going to depend on... Well, the limiting factor is going to be like how fast you can shoot, because you can't kill them fast enough to not get overwhelmed and damaged by them. Ow, no, 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 no. Yeah, it's probably in terms of the difficulty. I mean, it's not. It's like it feels like it's hard enough to be fun, but just the fact that I can play for so long, like without dying. Shoot, it means the game is just threatening to end up being kind of monotonous. It's not that I want to die, but there's, you know, only so long you can kind of do the same thing before it kind of wears thin. So sometimes you kind of want, if you want a sort of game where you just play it in bursts, which is kind of what this feels like, where you just get as far as you can. And that sort of thing, it's a good idea to kind of keep the attempts, or whatever you want to call it, that the player makes kind of short and sweet a little bit. And that also encourages like retrying. Like if you game over and then you're like, oh, I want to get a better score, then you know, in that sort of game you want it to be the kind of thing where the player really wants to jump in and try again like right away. But if they have to like dedicate like an hour into one run, I guess that's the word I was looking for, one run in the game, it's going to take like an hour to get to where they were last time, that kind of thing, then it kind of discourages trying over and over again. So if you can kind of, you know, load the fun stuff into kind of a shorter play span, that kind of ramps up more quickly, and not just in terms of difficulty, but also in like throwing new things at you and all that stuff, and that's a good idea, because those little shorter runs will be a lot more exciting for the player to want to keep jumping back in and trying again and optimizing their own play, rather than keeping playing for half an hour or an hour or something. I don't even know how long I've been playing or how long that round lasted, but yeah, I mean, it seemed like I probably could have survived for a while longer too. And if I was interested, like if I was really in love with this game and I was like, oh, I want to see just how many levels I can get to, it would probably be pretty frustrating, because just the amount of time I would have to dump into it just to even get back to this point, which was like my first attempt, more or less, at playing for real. So yeah, in general, in terms of feedback, it's just kind of what I already said. I think there's just some elements of, the collision. The camera is problematic as it is. I think those two things are probably the biggest sort of fundamental things that I can see as kind of weaknesses as it is right now. Obviously, there's not much to it, but that's, just the nature of, making a game in a week. And so, then you can obviously add more enemy types and challenges and things like that, different weapons maybe. But I will say it was surprisingly fun. I didn't really even think going into it or when I started playing it that it would end up kind of being sort of as exciting as it was. It was just cool to be able to zoom around so quickly and to do all the little finite movements with the stick to shoot and kite enemies and kind of weave between them when it worked. So yeah, it was actually surprising. Just that sort of fundamental element of zooming around and blasting enemies felt surprisingly good. So I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I would say, if you're interested in continuing work on this, then I'd definitely be interested in seeing where else you could take it and how you could polish it up, because I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, hopefully that was useful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.